Imagine waking up at the crack of dawn to find your nosy HOA president skulking around your truck like she's the FBI on a stakeout, clipboard poised like a weapon, scribbling violations on property she has no claim over. No knock. No hello, just pure, unadulterated entitlement radiating off her like cheap perfume. And when I politely informed her, "Lady, I'm not in your little club," she flashed a smirk that could curdle milk, whipped out her phone for a sneaky pic, and drawled, "Well, the sheriff can sort you out then. I'm Jake, a 35-year-old electrician who's wired more houses than I can count, navigating the tangled mess of permits, boundaries, and those zoning riddles that trip up the average Joe. Not some hotshot with deep pockets or insider pals. Just a guy who craved elbow room after years crammed in dingy apartments where the walls felt like they were closing in. So when I snagged this weathered gem on a 2-acre county holdout during the market crash, it was like striking gold in suburbia. Picture it. A humble spread encircled by cookie-cutter McMansions, all synced up with identical beige siding and those mandatory white picket fences that scream conformity or bust. The developers had circled this plot like vultures back in the day. But the old owner dug in his heels, so they built their plastic paradise around it, leaving my spot as the rebellious thorn in their manicured side. Folks dubbed it the Rogue Acre, and honestly, I loved it. My garage doubled as a tool haven, buzzing into the night without some busybody board breathing down my neck. But oh, the HOA? They seethed from day one, their precious bylaws banning everything from visible RVs to non-approved paint shades, while I lounged in my rural residential bubble, county-approved and free as a bird. Little did I know, freedom like that sticks in the craw of control freaks. The resentment brewed silently at first, neighbors shooting side-eye over hedges, murmuring about how I thought I was above it all. I brushed it off, live and let live, right? But I didn't grasp the depth of their pettiness until they started treating my yard like their personal playground. See, this wasn't just about lawns. It was about power, the kind that warps good folks into mini-dictators under the guise of community harmony. And leading the charge? Enter Marlene, the HOA Queen Bee, a retired accountant with a perm so tight it matched her grip on the rulebook. She strutted around like she owned the whole zip code, preaching standards in that saccharine voice that masked a core of pure vinegar. Flanked by her minions, the mousy vice-pres who nodded like a bobblehead, the burly compliance officer with a perpetual scowl and a smartphone addiction, and the secretary who typed up complaints faster than a court stenographer. They formed a squad straight out of a bad sitcom, enforcing edicts on everything from holiday lights to dog breeds. It kicked off innocently enough, or so it seemed. 2 days after my moving truck pulled away, Marlene materialized on my porch with a glossy folder emblazoned, "Welcome to Evergreen Estates," in bubbly font. She thrust it at me like a subpoena, her smile all teeth and no warmth. "We're so thrilled to have you join our family," she cooed, eyes darting to my beat-up pickup like it was a biohazard. I flipped through the pages of nonsense about mandatory mulch colors and bans on commercial vehicles, and handed it back. "Appreciate the gesture, but I'm not part of your HOA. County land. You know?" Her lips pursed into a thin line, like I just insulted her grandma. "Oh, honey, everyone contributes to our beautiful standards. It's what keeps property values soaring." She leaned in, voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "You wouldn't want to be the one dragging us down, would you?" I chuckled politely, shutting the door, figuring that was that. Spoiler, it wasn't. That exchange, it lit the fuse on Marlene's personal vendetta, her ego bruised by a guy who dared exist outside her kingdom. From then on, My rogue acre wasn't just an eyesore, it was enemy territory. The whispers started small, like weeds creeping through cracks. I'd catch snippets at the corner store. That new guy's got trailers everywhere, total eyesore. Or from dog walkers lingering too long. Marlene says he's dodging dues, thinks he's special. I kept my head down, focusing on wiring jobs and patching my roof. But inside, I was cataloging every glare, every rumor. Patience is my superpower. As an electrician, you learn to trace faults methodically, not yank wires willy-nilly. But Marlene, she amped up the voltage. Fake notices began appearing on my door, neon yellow horrors blaring violation. Unsightly storage, or non-compliant structure. I'd peel them off, chuckling at the absurdity. Who finds someone for a toolbox? One evening, I spotted her hovering at the fence line, phone aloft, clicking away at my garage like a paparazzo chasing a scandal. Marlene, you lost, I called out casually. She didn't flinch. Just ensuring community aesthetics, she snapped back, her voice laced with that faux moral superiority. Disorder breeds discontent. You know, I raised an eyebrow. On my property, that's called trespassing. She waved it off with a laugh that sounded like nails on chalkboard. Oh, please. We're all in this together. Yeah, right. Together like a fox and a henhouse. As the days ticked by, the harassment dialed up from annoying to absurd. One crisp Saturday, crunching gravel alerted me to intruders in my backyard. There they were, Marlene and her entourage, clipboard brigade in full swing, poking at my shed like it was a crime scene. The compliance officer scribbled furiously, muttering about unpermitted additions, while the vice pres fidgeted, avoiding my gaze. What in the actual hell? I demanded, stepping out. Marlene straightened, chin jutting like a drill sergeant. Routine inspection of common areas, she declared, as if my gravel was public domain. This is private land, Marlene. Get off before I call the real authorities. The secretary gasped dramatically, clutching her pearls, literal ones. Mind you, while Marlene huffed, we have every right to maintain order. They shuffled off. But not before the compliance guy snuck a video, smirking like he'd caught me red-handed. That night, the rumors exploded online. Neighborhood Facebook group lit up with posts. Rogue resident resisting inspections. Safety hazard? Marlene's handiwork. No doubt, painting me as the villain in her scripted drama. Kids on bikes would screech to a halt at my driveway. One piping up, "Mom says you're wrecking our values." I just smile, thinking, kid, if only you knew the real wrecker. But here's where the irony bites hard. These folks, so obsessed with order, were blind to their own chaos. Marlene's rules were a joke. Bans on pink flamingos because they clash with neutral palettes. Fines for grass over 2 inches like it was a national crisis. Yet she'd bend them for her cronies, like letting the vice-pres gaudy fountain slide because it's artistic. Me, I was the scapegoat, the outlier threatening their bubble. Privacy, shot. Business, teetering. As whispers reached clients, heard that guys got code violations galore, stakes rose. But I stayed cool, documenting everything, photos, timestamps, even audio clips of her rants. Retaliate? Nah. Let her dig her own grave. Then came the camera stunt. A cheap steak cam hammered into her side, angled straight at my drive. Surveillance for security, she claimed when I confronted her. You never know with outsiders. I laughed inwardly. Outsider? On my own dirt, evidence mounted, her desperation reeking like overripe fruit. The blow-up hit when sheriff's cruisers rolled up mid-repair job. 2 deputies, looking bored and baffled, cited illegal builds per HOA tip. From who? I asked. Association Prez, of course. I pulled my permit binder, thick as a Bible, and walked them through. All county stamped. Gents. The older one whistled. Looks legit. Cue Marlene storming over. Phone recording. Board in tow. Officers. He's defying standards. Endangering us all. The younger deputy eyed her. Ma'am. This ain't your turf. Her face? Priceless. A mix of shock and splutter. But. Neighborhood. County land, he shot back. No false calls. Or it's trouble. She pointed at me, hissing. This isn't done. Oh, Marlene. If only you knew how right you were. Done for her. That is. Undeterred, Marlene cranked the pettiness to 11. Days later, my mailbox, buried under a pyramid of decorative rocks, stacked like a toddler's tantrum art. Mailman couldn't deliver, federal offense territory. Tire tracks led straight to her cul-de-sac. As I snapped pics, the compliance officer sauntered by, filming me filming. Just documenting disorder, he grinned. I waved. Keep it up. Makes great court evidence. Inside, fury simmered, but patience held. Her sabotage screamed insecurity, a queen fearing her crown slip. Neighbors bought her spin. He's stubborn, ruining harmony. One whispered at the park. Marlene says he's squatting on HOA land. Laughable, if not so damaging. I dove deeper into records, unearthing the gold. My deed predated their suburb, and that private road they all cruised? Mine. The developer looped it over my parcel. HOA maintaining but ownership mine. Easements violated left and right, their signs, lights, even a welcome arch encroaching. Boom, leverage. Tensions boiled as Marlene pushed for annexation, rallying her flock with emails dripping hypocrisy. For our shared prosperity, board meetings buzzed with her sermons on unity, while she trashed me privately. I stayed silent, observing her unravel, voice cracking in rants, eyes darting like a cornered rat. One showdown in my drive, her crew inspecting again. Marlene, you're on my road, literally, she scoffed. Nonsense. You follow our rules. I smiled. Oh, honey, you have no idea. Her minions shifted, unease cracking their facade. The absurdity, peak satire, a woman preaching order while trespassing blindly. The county hearing loomed like Judgment Day, a stuffy hall reeking of bureaucracy. I arrived armed with docs. Marlene's posse huddled outside, her clutching a dossier like a shield. She cornered me. Annexations filed. The county'll see reason for community good. I shrugged. Needs my sign-off. Got it. Her smirk faltered, but inside, seats packed with gawkers. Whispers. That's the troublemaker. Agenda hit. Evergreen HOA annexation. Marlene podium-bound. Voice booming. This rogue parcel disrupts our harmony. Unsightly. Unsafe. We demand governance for all's sake. Nods from her plants. Official interrupts. Owner consent? Silence. No? Denied. Her jaw dropped. But he's among us. Jurisdiction trumps proximity. Turning to me. Speak. I rose. Binder thumping down. Original deed, pre-subdivision. Murmurs. Developer packed. Road crosses my land. I own it. HOA maintains. No transfer. Gasps. Survey your signs. Arches on my dirt. Room iced. Official to Marlene. You're on his property. Whispers erupted. She what? Road's his. Her face crumpled. Stammering. Misunderstanding. Our maps. Irrelevant. Binding contracts. Trespass. Encroachments. She pleaded. He's difficult. Official. Not your rules. Panic spread. He could gate us? Marlene's bored, bailed gazes. She trembled. Empire crumbling in real time. Orders flew. Remove violations. Probe false reports. Calculate back maintenance thousands owed. Her wail. Unfair, but justice? Sweet, ironic poetry. Fallout hit like a suburbia tsunami. Viral video of Marlene's flop spread. Residents aghast. Board ousting her in emergency session. Fines rained. Thousands for trespass. Reprimands stinging. Slander scrubbed. Apologies trickled in. Awkward and raw. We believed her lies, sorry. One neighbor. Didn't know. I nodded. Now you do. New signs marked boundaries, shattering their illusion. Folks approached humbly. Teach me deeds. Ex-board. She dragged us, regret. Neighborhood thawed. Authoritarian haze lifting. Kids biked freely. Evenings quiet. Me, reclaimed peace. Planting a sapling as sunlight danced. No more shadows, just clarity. Powers knowing rights. Not bullying them. But tell me, in a world of overzealous HOAs, was Marlene the real violator? Or does community justify the chaos? Yes or no? Drop your take below.